Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, the podcast, episode 230 something. We keep recording every Tuesday. There keep being more and more, too many to count. Appreciate you guys being here for another week. We've had glowing things to say thus far about MLB The Show 25, but today we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, the 500-pound gorilla, the grizzly bear with oven mitts on, standing in the corner. We have some online connectivity things to discuss. I don't know the solutions. I don't know the answers to the issues we're about to talk about. And I don't think I'm blowing it out of proportion by talking about it here because of the people I've spoken to. They're experiencing similar things. So let's lock in. Let's talk about it. Appreciate you guys for being here. Another week. Hope you guys are ready for the weekend classic this weekend.
Hey guys, sorry, post-recording Kenny here. I realized that last week at the end of the podcast, I alluded to today being one of the most unique guests in the show, the podcast history. That's called a boo-boo, a blunder, an oopsie-poo. I got my dates wrong. Next week, or the week after, will be the most interesting guest. I've already locked this person down. We're in to go. It's just a matter of finding the perfect date because we both have busy lives. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. That episode is going to be popping when we do get it done. But for now, we're going to talk about this. So, thank you. Let's get to the content.
That's the best place to start this connectivity, online issues conversation. The Weekend Classic, which we'll have a really interesting video about tomorrow on the channel. 9 a.m. Eastern, Wednesday on YouTube. Come back for that. This is like, truthfully, one of the biggest competitive endeavors MLB The Show has ever embarked on. We have all asked for some sort of weekend competitive mode forever. We're getting it. I've seen people say it only caters to the 1%. Categorically untrue, because every single level of every single online player has incentive to play in the Weekend Classic. So, dispelling that immediately. But the issues are it's possible they're pretty at the forefront if the Weekend Classic does not run as smoothly as it should. So let's discuss my experience so far. Again, this is my personal experience, though I think many have experienced something similar. So, when I play online, ranked, battle royale, and events are what I am specifically talking about. I'm not talking about co-op here, because co-op is always a buggy, connection-filled mess, no matter what game it's in. So while I recognize that co-op has issues, for my purposes right now, I'm not talking about it. Doesn't mean I hate it, though I sort of do. It's just more about talking on 1v1 modes, okay? Actually, here's a good place to start. I have crossplay off. I have always historically played with it on. I don't know if it matters off or on this year, but I have it off because that's how buggy the connections have been. So now, with our online modes, 1v1 online modes, multiplayer modes, I have found I've played 19 ranked games. Let's just round it up to 20 to make the math easy. I think like 80% of them have been smooth. Or at least smooth enough where it's not completely altering my experience. Whenever you have some sort of online connection game, 1v1 connection game, even the smoothest of matchups might have a hiccup here and there. That's just the nature of an online connection where you're playing someone hundreds of miles away and maybe farther. But, largely, ranked has felt better since early in the year. 4 weeks ago. I have found my ranked experience to be pretty pleasant, actually. At least compared to Battle Royale and events. So, events has lost some of its value, for sure. I think it has become a grinding mode now for if you have to do the PXP missions for Jason Varitek, Terry Pendleton, and Jose Batista. That's where I largely did them. I am not talking about the caliber of opponent here. I'm not talking about sometimes how they're so sweaty of the games. The connection and the lag and the input issues are horse shit. They're really bad. And then similarly, I am having that same type of experience in BR. For some reason, the 3-inning game modes in 1-to-1 head-to-head multiplayer are not playing or performing well. The connections are terrible. I've used this analogy a few times on Twitter and also in videos. But in these game modes, it feels like I am swinging a bat underwater. All of this is separate from the ongoing idea in the MLB The Show community that exit velocities are down. I don't necessarily subscribe to that belief. I don't subscribe to that being the biggest problem, is maybe the better thing to say. I think we are, of course, using lower overall cards. Not a lot of people are juiced to the gills with power. Those issues, perceived issues, will lessen over time. I think the really outrageous results that we're seeing, like Carlos Beltran perfect flyouts, or balls that you think you've pissed upon dying in the gap and being caught, etc., 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 have a lot to do. Of course, a lot of them are circumstantial. Sure. But I think a lot of it has to do with connection problems in 3-inning modes. I don't know why the experience is different. Sorry, guys. I've got like a dog hair like on my nose and it's really bothering me, so I gotta itch that real quick. I don't understand why the experiences are different. I would imagine there's just different server capacity allotted to ranked than to BR and to events. I don't know why. I think BR is probably the more played mode. Nah, maybe not. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I think there's at least close to an equal player base. Maybe. I don't know. That's just a guess. But it's odd to me that one game mode plays worse than the other. So here is one of the theories I have concocted. I don't think it's a tinfoil hat thing because it is something I have noticed in my own experience. It seems like in all game modes across everything, this even includes some online, that pitchers from the stretch cause screen tearing and pitch skipping and frame rate problems, which therefore leads to like delayed swing outcomes. In ranked, generally, there are fewer instances in which you are pitching from the stretch because you're using a starting pitcher who throws from a full windup. If you're on Hall of Fame or Legend, for a lot of people, it is harder to get on base, so there are just fewer base runners. In BR, a lot of people are just using relievers from Jump Street. In events, it's locked on All-Star. There's a lot of traffic on the bases. Pitchers are in the stretch constantly. And I'm wondering if that's just a weird thing that has to do with why there are worse connections in BR and events, because we're operating from the stretch more, and lag is just intensifying. Complete theory, based in no scientific knowledge. But I do think many of us have experienced this pitcher from the stretch dilemma. So, it's been a frustrating year for me playing Battle Royale. I have 2 10-1 runs, so I have at least made it close to the promised land. Nothing super substantial from those. One of those 10-win rewards was Mookie Betts. You guys saw that on YouTube a few weeks ago. And I think the other one was like, who was the other one? Harper, maybe? Something like that. Nothing grossly expensive, though I wish it would have been. Other than that, I have had some of the worst experiences I've had playing BR in a very long time. For those of you who are new here and don't know me, hi, my name's Kenny. Thank you for being here. In MLB The Show 23, I was a 20 times flawless player. Last year, wasn't playing a lot of BR, but also was just not enthused by it in general. I went flawless 4 times, or 3 times, 3 or 4. Can't remember, one of the two. Prior to 23, I had a handful of flawlesses, but 23 is where I really had like a BR boom. And I am like struggling in BR right now. Could just be I'm getting worse. I'm 32, getting old. I'm an unk, some might say. But I don't think that's the case. There is a weird, and listen, the great players are still going flawless. So clearly it is a personal experience. You've got the top guys, whenever they decide to put their head down and go flawless, they go flawless. But I think it's the top guys who can overcome a lot of those connectivity problems because they're that good. I don't know. I just really don't know why experiences are so different from a connection standpoint between all of your one player or 1v1 head-to-head player modes. So my question here before we continue on with a little bit more of the podcast here is, what has been your online experience? Are you vibing a little bit with what I'm saying? Are you agreeing? Are you experiencing similar things to what I'm experiencing? Is ranked a smoother play for you than BR and events? Are pitchers from the stretch destroying your frame rates if you're playing on a monitor? Probably even on a TV. Probably worse on a TV. I'm just so curious. I know the Manny Dread fix is coming. They've confirmed it's coming. We just don't know when that update's going to be. I wouldn't be shocked if it was this week before the Weekend Classic. Just a guess, just a hunch. I am recording this on Sunday, April 6th, so who knows? It could come out on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. I would guess before their big competitive event they would want that fixed because Manny is a popular card, as he should be. He's very good. But getting back to my original point, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on what we're talking about, because I can't speak for everybody's experience. I can just speak for mine. But a great way for us to get the pulse of what's going on in the community is to have this conversation in like a condensed area. So if SDS is watching this, and sometimes they are, shout out SDS, read the comments, see what the folks are experiencing, and maybe we can figure something out. Because that's the goal here, is whenever we create podcast episodes or content pieces that are of a critique or a concern, the ultimate goal is for the right people to see it, to either address the issue or acknowledge the issue so it can be worked on in the future. That's always the goal of these type of episodes. So, let me know, let us know, let SDS know. Shout out to Ramon. Shout out to the fine folks at SDS. Let's talk about some other stuff now. Team update. You guys seemed to love my update video last week. I appreciate that. That episode was popping off for some reason. So we've made an upgrade to the team. I am stub fluid because I have completed live series and I've been playing Diamond Quest, and very fun thing, did the spin wheel at the end of the XP path, even though it's not a wheel and it doesn't spin. And I landed on a Diamond Premier round. That means you get 5 pipeline cards in a Premier pack. I got 4 diamonds. It was Christian Campbell, Samuel Basayo, and Marcelo Mayer. So technically, I think that's 4 rare rounds. And then the 5th was a gold. Screw that gold. So I had some stubs floating about, and I purchased Brian Reynolds. I got him for about 130K. He's hovering around there right now. I wasn't going to do it at all. I was just going to be like, let him come down in price. I don't need him. I've got plenty of other guys. But then I had a BR run where I absolutely raked with him, and he felt so good. And like better than I thought he would, even though we all know Brian Reynolds is great. So I was like, I need him. So it helped me get Anthony Santander out of left field. So it's a double win. I got a great bat, a switch-hitting bat, much better in the field, because Brian Reynolds cannot field worth a shit anymore in real life. Decent reaction, okay arm, good fielding even in his secondary. He's got the speed, and I can put Santander at DH and just let him rake. So that was a win-win-win all around for me. I made one change to the pitching staff. I took out Fernando Valenzuela because I am so uncomfortable using him. I put in Mike Messina for this week's video. So on Thursday, there will be a Mike Messina how to pitch with video. Quick programming note, there will be no video on Friday this week because I am out on that bachelor party. So we will get a how to pitch with video on Thursday, and that will end the content for the week, just so you guys are aware. Mike Messina, probably not my 5th starter, though. Even though I do like Messina cards, I think going into the Weekend Classic, I'm going to feel more comfortable with Corbin Burns in there. I think. We'll see how things go. But my 5th starter is kind of in a state of flux. It could be Corbin Burns. Crochet is really good for like 4 or 5 innings, so he's a guy. Shohei, people pitch well with Shohei. I don't. I hate the fact that he's got no control and no BB per 9. But he's got a funky arm angle sinker cutter. So he could be a guy, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. The 5th starter is in a state of flux. Sometimes you don't even need a 5th starter if people quit quick enough and your guys replenish stamina. But these are my confirmed 4 are Clemens, Jordan Zimmerman, Steve Carlton, and Al Leiter. Those are my confirmed 4 right now. Did we make any changes to the bullpen? We did not make any changes to the bullpen, though we are very close to P5 with Chapman because he has been my workhorse in offline play. Mason Miller was out for a second. Who did I put in for that hot set? Oh, I had Rich Gossage. And then Rich Gossage's price shot up when the BR changed, and I was like, oh, it would be really dumb to keep this card. So I almost doubled my purchase on that, so that was nice. Also sold Lance Berkman for like 1.5 times my initial price. So those were good mini investments, even though the intention was not for those to be investments. So that's where I'm at. And I'm happy with my lineup. I also P5 Ted Simmons, which makes me feel good. He's now a silver defensively. Yay. Because this is another question for you guys. I'm sorry to keep asking you to flood the comment section. We do know comments are good for the YouTube algorithm, but I'm also going to ask this. Because the power creep is back, and because lineups should be like constantly evolving within the scope of the power creep, do you guys like that every week in this podcast, maybe I start doing like a team update? Just every week, like here's where I'm at with my team. I'm curious if you guys would like that. Because I do think there will be weeks where things drastically change, or semi-drastically change. Or guys I'm curious about trying. So do you guys think that's a good idea? Let me know down in the comments. If you like it, I'll do it. If not, we won't do it. No big deal. But I am pretty happy with the squad right now. Pretty happy with the roster. Also pretty happy with my collection progress. They did confirm that April 25th, where's a good one to look at? April 25th. See at the top right there? Collection will be updated April 25th. That's going to be the day for the first big collection. So it is your duty now. It is your obligation to make sure you are ready for that collection. We are, at the time of recording, 19 days away from it. By the time you're listening, 17 days away. It is never too early to start being prepared for the collection, because the second you fall behind, you're going to feel like you've fallen behind, and you're going to overpay for cards you shouldn't overpay for. So make sure you're doing it now. I will put out some sort of video that goes through like predictions of how many of each type I think you need, but just take your lay of the land. I have completed Topps Now. For now, obviously more cards will come out, but as things stand right now, Topps Now is complete. Postseason, there's only 7 of these. I would expect there to be 1 or 2 more, but I'm up to speed on postseason. Second half heroes, I'm missing 2. Both of them are the BR guys. Berkman's pretty hefty. J-Roll's coming down a little bit. I may purchase a J-Roll if his price comes down a little bit more. Berkman and Gossage had come down to like 35K. Rollins is a little more sought after as a player card to use, so I'd expect more like 40, 45, but I'm monitoring this one. I might buy him. Veteran, we're just missing Pettit, and I really want to use Pettit, actually, so I'm closely monitoring this price. Closely. He may be an upcoming video. We'll see. Probably next week, if ever. All-Star, this is going to be the hard one for people to complete. I've said that before. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the cards are chase cards. One of them, Hank Aaron, is cheap now. So 4 of them are chase cards. 1 of them is a World Series card. And the other one's a BR card. This one is tough. It's expensive. And then the rest are headliners that are pretty cheap right now, but beside the point. This one is going to be a sticky one for a lot of people. So either A, make sure it's not sticky for you, or B, you could be a little intentional here in buying a guy like I purchased a Rob Dibble for about 39K. There's a chance all these prices of All-Star cards skyrocket when the collection drops. And I will quickly sell my Rob Dibble if his price skyrockets, because I'm not going to use this card, because I think he's whatever. And I do think even without him, I should have enough to complete this one. So just be intentional with your stubs. Breakout is easy peasy. There's only 8 of them. I would expect a couple more. Same thing, rookie, other than Valenzuela completing the Dodgers, is really, really easy peasy. Not that bad. You do have to spend a little bit to get the Acuna to complete the Braves, but that's a lot more attainable than completing the Dodgers. All these, I'm stocked up and ready to go on these. They are not expensive right now, the ones that you don't have. It would be a good idea, if you haven't yet, to go get the Sabathia for mini-seasons. I don't think you'll need 100% of these cards, but getting the Sabathia for free will mean you don't have to pay for one of these guys. And you'll get some packs out of mini-seasons. Last ride, go do the program. It gives you 2 more. Otherwise, all these guys are incredibly attainable, not hard. Contributor, again, all of these super duper easy peasy attainable. Go get them. Jolt, if you already have 15 and have the voucher, like it says above my head, you don't have to worry about it. You have the voucher. You're done. You don't need to grind for all 30. But I do think you should. I do think just in general, this is a good, easy grind to do. It gets you cards, it gets you packs and XP, and it gets you closer to the vouchers for the all-star and finest cards within the Team Affinity paths. So do them. Spring Breakout, I do think most people who have been grinding since launch have probably made an effort to get Leodolis DeVries. He's a really good early game shortstop. He is still God Squad worthy now. He has an excellent swing. So if you have DeVries, it says collect DeVries. That's your voucher right there. I would imagine that means that's your voucher. So collecting DeVries is going to get that done. Same for collecting Roki. Same for collecting Santander. You don't need 100% of these cards for the voucher. You just need Santander. In the past, SDS has allowed you to skip one of these collection buckets. So that would mean there's 14 possible options right now. If we're going off history, SDS would let you have 13. Maybe that changes, maybe it's 12, but I'm just going off history. So you could also be intentional about completely punting one of these. It is your prerogative. I would highly, 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 highly doubt they're going to make you go for all 14. Could be wrong. Highly doubt it. Just what history has said. So, if you choose to punt. All-Star might be a good one to punt, or Second Half Heroes might be a decent one to punt, just because 2 of them are BR rewards. And he's a divisional collection. And these guys are team collections. Like this one ain't easy either. So I would choose to punt either Second Half Heroes or All-Star. But I don't know where your inventory is. Your inventory is managed by you. So you make your own call. It's just, if I'm starting from like a vantage point of 0, All-Star is very hard. Second Half is very hard. Or at least very expensive. Maybe not hard. But that's where I'm at. I'm flying through collecting cards as I keep playing Diamond Quest. I am making sure I'm up to date on all of these Retro Lightning collection fellas, because I don't want to miss out on getting the Retro Lightning card. Obviously, these are easy to do. Just do your Spotlight program. You get Jordan Westberg. And I'm having fun grinding. All that's to say, going back to what we started the episode with, the online experience has been touch and go. And I hope it can change. I hope we can get a game that plays online similar to how it plays offline. It's never going to be the same, but as long as it gets closer to that middle ground, I'm in. Because the offline experience is hella fun. Heck of fun. Offline can sometimes not be. But that is going to do it, boys and girls, for this episode of The Show, the podcast, with a colon in between the show and the podcast. Some people don't know that. Some people also call this The Show podcast. I appreciate it, but that's not what it's called. Either way, let me know what you guys think about all the stuff we talked about. The online connections, my team updates every week. Let me know. Love you guys. I appreciate all the love lately. We're already closing in on 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. We just hit 5,000. Wild to me. Keep hitting that sub button. And that's it. Love you guys. See you next time.